Execution and monitoring form the operational bridge between strategic intention and tangible impact in nonprofit organizations. Even carefully designed plans remain aspirational unless supported by systems that translate objectives into coordinated action and sustained feedback. Agile methodologies provide structured yet flexible practices that strengthen implementation while preserving responsiveness to dynamic environments. By embedding iterative tracking mechanisms and short coordination cycles, organizations ensure that strategies remain relevant, accountable, and aligned with mission priorities. Within the nonprofit sector, execution often unfolds under financial constraints, limited infrastructure, and evolving stakeholder expectations. Traditional monitoring systems may prove overly rigid or resource-intensive in such contexts. Agile frameworks introduce an alternative logic grounded in transparency, continuous adjustment, and distributed responsibility. Planning and implementation become integrated processes rather than sequential phases. A central coordination mechanism within Agile execution is the daily stand-up. This brief and structured meeting aligns team members around recent progress, immediate priorities, and emerging obstacles. By concentrating on completed tasks, upcoming actions, and barriers to progress, stand-ups cultivate clarity and collective accountability. The format sustains shared awareness without requiring extensive documentation or prolonged reporting. In resource-constrained environments, the practice can be adapted to local realities. When daily in-person meetings are impractical, teams may rely on concise digital updates or structured weekly sessions. Physical task boards and visual charts can replace digital dashboards where technological infrastructure is limited. These adaptations preserve the principle of transparency while minimizing technical and financial burdens. The value of the stand-up lies in sustained communication rather than procedural formality. Effective monitoring further depends on appropriate tools for tracking responsibilities and timelines. Project management platforms vary in complexity, cost, and integration capacity. Simple visual task boards may suffice for small teams, while more comprehensive systems provide document integration and advanced reporting features. Open-source alternatives offer affordability, but may require additional configuration. Tool selection must therefore balance usability, affordability, and organizational capacity. For many nonprofits, simplicity outweighs technological sophistication. The objective is not to adopt the most advanced platform, but to establish a coherent system that reinforces visibility and coordination. Monitoring tools should clarify priorities rather than generate administrative overload. Agile execution also relies on continuous feedback. Monitoring extends beyond task completion to include evaluation of relevance and impact. Stakeholder input plays a central role in this process. Structured reviews and reflective sessions generate qualitative insights that complement quantitative indicators. Prioritization frameworks reinforce adaptive capacity. By distinguishing essential tasks from secondary initiatives, organizations maintain focus on mission-critical objectives. Strategic allocation of limited resources prevents diffusion of effort and supports disciplined implementation. Continuous reassessment allows incremental adjustments before inefficiencies escalate. Practical illustrations demonstrate the value of Agile monitoring in diverse contexts. In a rural health education initiative, participant feedback revealed that instructional materials were overly complex. Simplifying content and integrating visual elements increased comprehension and engagement. In disaster relief operations, community consultations prompted a shift in emphasis from food distribution to medical supply provision, improving alignment with immediate needs. In a community education program, adjusting class schedules in response to parental input enhanced attendance and learning outcomes. These cases illustrate the broader advantages of iterative monitoring. Early detection of challenges reduces the risk of large-scale underperformance. Transparent coordination strengthens stakeholder trust by demonstrating responsiveness. Embedding feedback within execution fosters a culture of continuous learning rather than episodic evaluation. Nonetheless, integrating Agile monitoring into nonprofit contexts presents structural challenges. Donor requirements often emphasize predefined outputs and linear reporting schedules, limiting flexibility. Reconciling adaptive execution with formal accountability demands careful institutional design. Monitoring systems must satisfy external compliance expectations while preserving internal responsiveness. Tool accessibility also remains uneven. Smaller organizations may lack the technical capacity to implement complex digital systems and must rely on pragmatic adaptations. Sustaining engagement in regular monitoring activities requires visible leadership commitment and organizational culture that values transparency. Without such alignment, coordination mechanisms risk becoming procedural rather than meaningful. Despite these constraints, the strategic benefits of Agile execution are substantial. Structured coordination, accessible tracking tools, and embedded feedback loops enhance an organization's ability to navigate complexity. Execution becomes a dynamic process of adjustment rather than rigid adherence to initial plans. Monitoring evolves from a compliance obligation into a strategic instrument that reinforces mission alignment and stakeholder confidence. Execution and monitoring are therefore pivotal within Agile strategic planning. They ensure that vision translates into responsive action and measurable impact. Through short coordination cycles, pragmatic management systems, and adaptive prioritization, nonprofit organizations strengthen coherence and resilience. Agile monitoring thus functions not merely as a managerial technique, but as a strategic asset in sustaining durable social impact. For scholars, the integration of Agile execution invites deeper examination of how adaptability intersects with accountability within nonprofit governance. For practitioners, it offers structured yet flexible mechanisms for sustaining relevance in uncertain environments. Agile monitoring ultimately reinforces the institutional capacity of mission-driven organizations to act with clarity, responsiveness, and strategic discipline.